ओके डियर स्टूडेंट्स, अब चलते हैं अल्टरनेटिंग करंट लेसन 25. Lesson 26 will be your last lesson on alternating current. Then we'll move on to few devices like transformer, AC generator, and that will finish your total alternating current and devices working on alternating current. So alternating current 25. Now we'll be discussing wattless current. Watt, W-A-T-T. What it is? It is the unit of power. Power was equal to work done by time. If this was 1 joule, time in 1 second, then you say the power consumed is equal to 1 watt. That is what we did in your plus 1 physics. It is called wattless current or idle current. Means which is that current which does not consume any power. Which current, right? So we have derived previously power consumed is E naught over root 2 I naught over root 2 cos phi, where E naught was the maximum value of the alternating EMF, I naught was the maximum value of the alternating current, and phi the phase angle between the voltage EMF and the current. And we had also seen this phi for a circuit containing only inductance, this phi was pi by 2, and for a circuit containing only capacitance, this phi was also pi by 2, but a circuit containing only resistance, this phi was 0. So this is constant, this is constant, this is constant. So how much power is consumed all depends on this factor cos phi, which was called your power factor. So where cos phi was R by Z, it was called power factor. How it is R by Z? I had drawn you the impedance triangle. This side was R, this side was XL minus XC, this side was Z. This was total resistance offered by RLC circuit. This part is the resistance offered by the resistance only. This part from here to here is the combined effect of the resistance offered by the inductor and the capacitor. XL was equal to your omega L. That was the reactance or the resistance offered by a pure inductor. Your XC was equal to 1 by omega C. That was the resistance or reactance offered by a capacitor. If both of them are together in a circuit, then this side, XL minus XC, was the combined resistance offered by the inductor and capacitor. This is by the resistance. So this diagonal, Z, was the total impedance, was called the impedance or the total resistance. Now, from here you can see cos phi is equal to base over hypotenuse. Therefore, cos phi is R by Z. So, this factor cos phi, which is controlling the power, is called the power factor. It is R by Z from the impedance triangle. Now, for phi is equal to 0, in which case phi is equal to 0? We had seen in the beginning of the alternating current lessons, for a circuit containing only resistance, alternating EMF was applied. Your E was equal to E naught sin omega t and your I was equal to I naught sin omega t. So omega t, there is no phase difference. Means this minus this is 0, that is phase difference is 0 for a circuit containing resistance only. So how much will be this for a circuit containing resistance only? Cos phi, that is cos 0. Cos 0 is 1, that is maximum. So if this part is maximum, that is 1, then your power becomes maximum. So your power becomes maximum in a circuit like this, right? Where we don't have inductor or we don't have a capacitor. Now, if that is so, let us find out at what frequency this takes place. When this phi is equal to 0, what is the frequency of the circuit, and the power consumed is maximum. Now look at when phi is equal to 0, if you look from the triangle also, if this part is 0, therefore the length of this side is 0. This phi will be 0 if z is like this. Then only phi will be 0. Then the length of this side, xl minus xc, this will become 0. So that is same thing as saying xl minus xc is equal to 0. That is same thing as saying xl is equal to xc. Under this condition, your phi is equal to 0. Therefore, cos 0 is maximum. Therefore, power consumed is maximum. So let us see what does this condition gives in the long run. XL was omega L, the inductive reactance. 1 by omega C was your Xc. This was the resistance or reactance offered by a capacitor. So cross multiplying omega square LC is 1. So omega is equal to 1 over LC square root of that, and any omega angular frequency is 2 pi nu 1 over LC. 2 pi comes to this side, so this becomes nu is equal to this. And this was your resonant frequency. So at this frequency of the source, this is a source, E is equal to E naught sin omega t. Omega is its angular frequency, and with that omega, a frequency nu is associated. If that nu is like this, 1 by 2 pi LC square root of that, then your XL is equal to XC. That is same thing as saying phi is equal to 1, phi is equal to 0. So cos 0 is 1. So power consumed is maximum. So the conclusion is at resonance frequency, the power consumption is maximum. And this is called the resonance frequency. At resonance frequency, the power consumption is maximum. Now, power consumption is maximum. Now, and in that case, when phi is equal to 0, that is XL minus XC is equal to 0, then this side will be equal to your resistance R. Then only phi will be 0. So this indicates this at resonance frequency means when Z is equal to R. So this implies Z is equal to R. So what is the conclusion? Therefore, the power dissipation is always through the resistance only, not through the inductor, not through the capacitor. Because for inductor, your phi was equal to pi by 2. And for a capacitor, your phi was, the phase difference was also pi by 2. And if you put it here, cos pi by 2, cos 90 is 0, then the whole thing is 0. So the power consumption is always through resistance, not through an inductor, not through a capacitor. So the power dissipation is always through a resistance only, but not through an inductor or a capacitor, because for both of them, for this as well as for this, the phase angle is pi by 2 and cos pi by 2 is 0. So your power consumption is 0. But actually, ideal inductor, ideal capacitor, they do not exist. So there is some loss of power due to inductor and capacitor whenever they are in the circuit. Now, we have derived previously the average power in one complete cycle. In one complete cycle was equal to P is equal to E naught over root 2 I naught root 2 cos pi. That is what we did it in the beginning also here. And this was called your RMS voltage or virtual voltage. This was called your RMS current or the virtual current. So P is equal to this. Now in some situation, let this voltage, and this is the phase difference between this virtual voltage and virtual current. Let in some situation this is ahead of the current IV by some phase angle phi. That is what I am showing here. this is your virtual current from here to here. This is your virtual voltage, which is E0 over root 2, and this is the phi. Now what do I do? Taking this as a resultant, this IV, I split this vector into two rectangular components such that one component is along EV. So one component is like this, and the other component is like this, and the other component is like this. And this, since this angle is phi, so this will be your IV cos phi, and this will be your IV sin phi. This is your IV virtual current. I have resolved this current vector into two rectangular components so that one component is along EV, that is IV cos phi, because this is phi. So this is equal to your, from here to here is equal to your IV sin phi. Now, so IV sin phi, IV cos phi. Virtual current sin phi, virtual current cos phi are the two rectangular components of the virtual current. Now let us see what is the power consumption due to this current and this current. Does IV sin phi consume any power, or does IV cos phi consume any power or not? Let us check that. So now is interesting. Now, angle between IV cos phi and EV is equal to 0. Look. IV cos phi is to this side, and your EV is also in the same direction. So the angle between EV and IV cos phi is equal to 0. And the angle between EV, the virtual voltage, and this component, that is IV sin phi, between this and this, the angle is equal to 90 degree. Between this and this, the angle is equal to 0 degree. So let us put the expression for power formula for both the currents. So angle between IV cos phi and EV is 0, which I just explained and showed you. Angle between IV sin phi and EV is 90 degree, that is pi by 2. And we know the expression for power, and any power is equal to voltage into current. Power is equal to VI. This we were using for a DC circuit, but in a AC circuit there is a phase angle, so the cos of the angle have to be taken for AC circuits. So average power due to IV cos phi is PIV will be voltage into current, and angle between this and this. Angle between this and this is 0, cos 0. Cos 0 is equal to 1, so is equal to this much. Now, similarly, the average power due to this component, IV sin phi of the current IV. So, using the same formula, power is equal to VI and cos of the angle between them. So, your average power due to this will be voltage into current, and the angle between this voltage and this current, which is pi by 2, cos pi by 2. Cos pi by 2 is 0, therefore is 0. So, what is the conclusion? Therefore, IV sin phi component, that is this, which makes angle pi by 2, therefore, IV sin phi component of IV does not make any contribution to the consumption of power in a circuit, right? So due to this current, there is no consumption of power. And what is the unit of power? Watt. So therefore, this current will be called the wattless current or the idle current. Therefore, idle component or the wattless component in AC circuit is your IV sin phi.